Okay, so is the screen visible? So these are some best practices higher educational institutes, and like three fundamental performance issues are there. That are we performing better? These may not be directly related to the curriculum design, but these type of this best practices I usually discuss with in my all STCs or FDPs, because we all are from the technical institutes, higher educational institutes. So, what contribution we can make as a faculty member, or what we can do to make our institute a better one for the all the stakeholders. So this I show to almost in my all my presentations in some way or the other, because it contains different parameters of the benchmarking institute. So it's like that we have to consider that what is the purpose and intent of our institute, that is what is the vision and mission of the institute, whether it is a technical institute, either it is a management institute or an humanities institute. So what is the vision of the institute, of the department, and what steps we are following to reach that vision, right? And because we are from the technical institutes, maximum most of us, so it is a we have the for best practices we have 4I and D model. That is, first of all, it is identification of best practices. As I said, depending upon what is the mission of our vision of our institute, whether we want to, or what is the vision of our department, whether we want to have the um, our department as the center of excellence, or I want that 95% of placement of my students should be there, or I want that 40% should go for the higher education, or I want that the best infrastructure or good faculty members, right? Or the teaching learning pedagogy should be updated. So, or the MOUs or industrial linkage should be there, right? So, so many. Your first step is that you have to identify that what are the best practices and where we are lacking, or what are the best practices which we should adopt to reach our vision. Okay, then we have implementation. Obviously, once the practices are identified, then the steps have to be taken to move in the direction to achieve those practices. So that is your implementation. So if we want that good placement should be there, so it means what changes you should bring in the curriculum of the for the students, or what changes should be bring in the training and placement office, how the industry has to be attracted, how they have to be called to engage your students, how the students have to be prepared by mock interviews, by floating mock test, right? That how the what steps you take for the implementation. Then is institutionalization of the best practices. So it's like if that model or implementation is successful in one department at one level, then it means it is suitable for other levels also and other departments also. Internalization. Okay, so internalization is again the it should like that this is the maturity, actually it is a maturity of implementation of best practices, that once in the beginning some effort has to be made, some push is to be given by the authorities to the faculty, to the students, to the staff, to adopt those best practices, that is to move in that direction. But slowly and slowly, when you keep on implementing and when it gets institutionalized, that is every person is doing it, then it becomes a habit, that is internalization. So if I have a say one best practice is to take care of the weak students, mentoring, where now it is required at every level, and most of the colleges or most of you people might be doing it. So that is mentoring of the students. So in the beginning, every faculty will show some resistance. Okay, oh, this is an additional work we have to do. We have to keep track of the weaker students, or we have to mentor. But once it is into the system, then it becomes very normal for every faculty member that okay, it is it becomes a practice, right? So basically, institutionalization is to make an effort to make it more institutional centric, and internalization is that it becomes parts of one nature by conscious learning. It becomes a habit. So if I have to do the mentoring, or if I have to keep the track, or if I have to uh, take these seminars in the, or take care of the personality development of the student, or I have to develop soft skill for the students, then I have not to put any extra effort. It becomes a habit of me as a teacher to adopt that best practice. So actually that is maturization of this cycle of accepting and adopting the practices, right? So like the if I relate to the curriculum, providing the curriculum flexibility and curriculum enrichment. So when flexibility we have talked about a lot, right? Multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, okay, vocational courses, then extracurricular courses, they are the flexibilities. Curriculum enrichment is in the form of the electives. What latest, like as I discussed, that if we are talking about education 4.0, how I'm making it more enriched curriculum by providing the choice based system, by giving the bridge courses, by giving the remedial courses, extra coaching is to be given, by giving the some links of nptl courses, so that additional information, if those students who want, they can have, right? So such type of facilities, if it is provided, they we call that as the curriculum enrichment, right? And then one more thing, that problem occurs when the same subject is being taught by different teachers, right? If say subject common in first year or second year, like सुखदेव बाहर बात कर लो. So like digital electronics subject, or basic electronics, or any common subject which is being taught by different teachers, there the question papers have to be yeah, checking or assessment or question paper have to be normalized. Okay, so that type of enrichment has to be provided uh, by the institute, right? Then another, that it was related to uh, and then another curriculum enrichment is giving the students or telling the students beforehand how they will be assessed, on what criteria they will be assessed, what are the various course outcomes, right? So that type of information has to be disseminated, and that is actually the enrichment of the curriculum, right? These are something extension activities. So curriculum should involve, and in coming times, it will be mandatory that some credits will be given to the students based on uh, like these social activities. Earlier, we used to have CSR, that is corporate corporate social responsibility, but now we have the scientific social responsibility also. So as a institute, what contribution we are making for the society, or what we are steps we are taking for the upliftment of society uh, in and around. Like Unnat Bharat is another scheme floated by government of India, and in which the various activities are done at the rural development part, so that the the students, or the children, or any like from rural activities, ladies or students, they can be they can they get the upliftment of weaker sections, maybe societal or cultural, or age wise, or sexual wise. So that is covered in the part of Unnat Bharat. Similarly, adopting the villages, right? Society upliftment, fostering community responsibility, empowerment of women. Okay, then some colleges have the good scholarship to the students, those who are economically weak, or so. If along with that scholarship we can give some interest free financial assistance or loans to the students, right? So then research, because coming time is the time of the innovations, entrepreneurship, and research. So the curriculum has to be or it has to be enriched by including the research culture. May it be not only just major project or minor project, but making the students part of entrepreneurial cell, or some labs, or some incubation center, like CIA is there, so everybody has to have a incubation center in their respective colleges. So this type of enrichment has also to be the part of the curriculum, right? Infrastructure and resources of administration. Okay, yeah. So and then the training part. Training, we have experienced that so many times the internship or training is taken very lightly, that okay, the students will go and they'll sit there, and sometimes they will not even go and get the certificate and the marks are there. So we have to ensure that whatever their learning is there, whether they are going or when they come back, the training part should be assessed, like what they have learned, even in the form of a say, seminar, or in the form of a presentation, right? So some weightage has to be given to the training and internship, and not only which is mandatory after third year. Say even after first year or second year they can do small micro trainings, so that they get the flair of the industry. Not, and it's not that internship the students feel that we will do only that internship which is paid. No, because sometimes you have not to just go for the money, you have to learn. So getting into industry and seeing the all the setup, seeing all the nonsenses of the industrial setup, so that part should also be the made mandatory for the students, right? Yeah, so mentoring of students is there, and industry institute bridging. It's not only industry inclusion into the into the academics is not only up to that the some courses are there which is related to the industry, or we say that some trainings are being done industry. No, more involvement of industry is required in the academics, like uh, like when we design the curriculum, some representative from the industry should be there. चाहे वो आपका like he is or she may be alumni, your alumni in the good service, in a good sector, or in good industrial setup, call him. He will be ready to come and give the inputs, because he has gone through these steps, he has gone through the same curriculum, same teachings, and same he has studied there, so he know in and out. And when he is in the industry, then he knows that he will be the true he will give you the true feedback, that what is required in the curriculum and what is not, or which part of the curriculum is helping him in the in the industry, or which is redundant, or which is not to be more focused upon, right? So if you have some industry people around you, good enough. Otherwise, ask your alumni, especially IT and EC, there will be a lot of alumni who will be in industrial setups. So ask them to come and give feedback, and not only the feedback, but ask them to take sessions of the students, of the third year and final year students, so that, because again they have the exposure of the industry also, and they know what is the need and requirement of the industry, and they also know what the students may be lacking in third year or fourth year, or what are the good points of your institute which the students can use for getting the job, right? So use your alumni network to make more strong linkage between industry and the institute. And apart from the alumni, asks, there are many people in the industry, those who are passionate about teaching in the institutes or getting linked with the institutes. So call them to take sessions. not only technical sessions, general sessions, talking and encouraging the students, or telling or making the students more comfortable and more, you know, inclined towards getting the job in the industry. And in your BOS, try to keep one representative from the industry. Your advisory board should have somebody from industry. In your BOS, somebody from industry. And it should not be for the namesake that, okay, because NBA requires some representative from the industry, so we have this name, but he never turns up. Try to find out, try to call them by engaging them, taking the sessions, giving, or any in any ways that he comes and give the inputs. So the linkage is, the industry institute linkage is not only putting one subject or sending the students to training to the industry. No, go for collaborative research. Go for, ask the third year major project the students are doing, that those projects should be relevant, or they take the problem from the industry. I know the people from industry are busy and they won't be able to, or they won't like to give inputs, but at least they can give some problem, or they can help in formulation of the problems, that this is the issue the industry is fighting, or industry is a challenge for industry. So if some collaborative research is done with the industry and the academia, so that will be wonderful, right? Sign MOUs with the industry. That MAU will include each and everything, whether it is taking classes or visit of the students to the industry, or research, collaborative research, or how the industry is going to contribute to the academics. That can all be the part of MOUs, right? Then we have some international collaborations also, not only for research but also for like sensitization of the students, so that they can visit and they can come to know what good practices they are following, how the students are moving in different directions, or in how they are enriching their knowledge database with different techniques and different knowledge. So all these steps are some best practices which the every institute or every department should work upon, right, to gap, to cover this industry institute gap, right? So okay, so this is all about what I wanted to add on. But yes, some of the inputs which the some presenters have given, as I mentioned, the idea of hackathon or ideathon, innovative labs, setting up of entrepreneurship cells, giving them the like seed money for patents. Some of the colleges might be doing this, that all the BTech or MTech projects, uh, the they should be encouraged to go for copyright and go for patent. At least they should have idea about the IPR, about how to do the research. Research methodology should not be only for MTech or PhD. I feel it should be also for the BTech or MA, economics also, any because total learning is now research intensive learning, experiential learning, give the project based learning, right? Those are from management, give them the case studies. So the students, the way of learning, way of getting the information, way of updating their knowledge, that has to be enhanced. So these were the some inputs from my side as the best practices which the colleges or department should adopt for the curriculum enrichment.